Oh, yes.
Yeah, fuckers.
It is the 6th of April, 2017, and we are all outside standing in the middle of a street.
Ah, it's beautiful.
No, actually,
Beautiful
we're in here. I am Cruise Control.
I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
And this is the Nothing Sacred Show, and today we have with us, over half of our listeners are with us right now.
Mr. James fucking Tokyo.
Yeah, James Tokyo is on with us. James, how you doing tonight, man?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It's an honor. Like, your show is really cool, and I've listened to it since pretty much the beginning. And, I got to say, I really appreciate you guys continuing on and keep posting new episodes. I think it's just really great. You guys have a really good chemistry, and you keep it interesting, and I'm just hoping to help add to it.
Yeah, don't
say to that, man.
Don't fuck it up,
be?
man, because this is big, dude. If you fuck this up, man, you're gonna have issues, man. It's gonna be cataclysmic. In other words, don't worry about it. I'm glad to have you on. I need to start with something. I need to start with this phenomenon. We need a fucking name for this, whatever this is called. It's that, okay, whenever I don't know whatever it's called, rebounditis or just, I don't know, like, here's what I'm talking about. It's when you're sick, okay? So when you're sick, you feel like absolute shit. And I've talked about this before, Max. You know what I'm talking about. You probably know where I'm going with this already. You feel like shit for a couple of days, and then there's that danger zone day where you feel so much better than you did the day before that you think you feel good enough to be doing normal shit. Like, oh, I'm going to go walk 3 miles, and I'm going to go do a bunch of shit today because I felt like absolute shit the last week. But now I feel that much better, so it's that contrast. And then you end up fucking shit up by doing too much.
Yeah.
And then the next day you feel like shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Yep. Where you overdo it, and then all of a sudden you're going, oh, man, why the fuck did I do this? And you're feeling even shittier that next day. Like, what created this illusion that I felt so great,
Exactly, and if you're hearing noise in the background, it's because James is chilling, wandering around the hood, got some dogs barking, got some atmosphere. It's kind of fucking cool, actually, man.
I like it.
I'm just walking down this really long street. It's called Michigan Avenue. It's in North Pheonix, and it's south of Union Hills, and it's like a neighborhood, and it's a lawn street. I just came down here to walk down here while I'm talking to you guys because I don't want to be walking down like 19th Avenue or a major intersection or whatever.
Hey, we've interviewed rappers though, and you can hear like sirens and police helicopters and shit in the background.
If something happens to you like during this show, it's like we've got the rights to it. I just want to make sure you know that because this
I'm hoping it goes viral. It's like you guys have showcased some viral shit on your show before, like the Del Taco thing. That was hilarious.
Oh God, yeah, with the Del Taco.
Hey, my dad's the owner, you fucker. Yeah, that guy.
Oh, man.
That was a classic episode.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man. I like, I've actually there's a couple of viral stuff I want to talk about, but did you have anything that you're...
James, actually, man, you had some shit you want to tell us about. This is the main reason you came on, really. And, what's the deal, man? Tell us what's going on. You sent me this shit the other day, and I was like, what the fuck?
This is going to piss me off, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to give out her name, but a professor at my college, she's a photography professor. I don't want to give out her name. I don't want to get in trouble with the school or anything, but basically, okay, she got into a lot of hot water maybe about a decade ago or whatever. I looked it up while I was Google searching her online to find her Rate My Professor reviews or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she did was she did a photography piece where she basically was taking pictures of her 11-year-old daughter naked or whatever, and while she was growing up. So basically she has all these nude photos of her daughter in a collection, and she posted it in an exhibit, and it got banned in the United Kingdom, and there was some shitstorm in Wisconsin or whatever. But the deal is because it's a woman photographer doing this, it's not a big deal, and she gets to be employed by a major university. But we all know what would happen if it was a dude photographer who did this.
Okay, so wait a second. So she took these pictures as art of her 11-year-old daughter.
A metamorphosis of her daughter growing into a young woman, and now the daughter's all grown up and she defends the mom or whatever. But honestly, though, it's basically child pornography.
Well,
she's calling it art.
Okay, so what age did this start out at?
I think it started when she was like a toddler, like from when she was born
until she was 11, right?
Like I think like that's when around the age she was when it was controversial, but I think it happened actually when she was a toddler.
Okay,
and
but I guess
basically,
okay, so she did it when she was a toddler, but when did it stop? Like, is it still going now? Is this like her whole? Is it like a continuing
I'm not sure.
thing?
I'm not sure if the daughter kept letting mom take naked pictures of her as she got older, but the daughter apparently is cool with it and says it's not abuse or whatever. But I just see the hypocrisy here, because feminists, would defend this as, some beautiful thing between a mother and a daughter, or some, hippie liberal type of deal. But if it was a dude, if it was a male teacher doing this, photographing his underage daughter, the feminists would just like freak out, and they'd be so pissed off, and they would talk about how sexist it is and how abusive.
Well, yeah, I can definitely see that. There's a couple things to this actually that are hypocritical, but that's feminism for you, and that's identity politics, right? See, the first thing that gets me about this, of course, is what we're talking about here. Yes, if it was a man filming a young girl, it would never be considered. He would be a sicko, and the girl's opinion wouldn't matter because she is a child and she can't make consensual decisions, which is the right decision. You don't exploit a child. First of all, if it was like taking pictures of your children as they grow for your own your own private album, as like, hey, here's daughter, this is you as a child growing up, as something that between a family member, I could see that because it's not necessarily sexual like that. Like I think every kid has pictures of them naked running around.
Well, sure, but the thing is, this is public.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's public, and a child does not have the ability to consent to having their body shown publicly in that way. First of all, second of all, of course, I mean, regardless of what you're thinking about the picture in terms of sexuality or people getting off on it, which of course. Yeah, they're going to.
That's my next thing. Pedophiles
will get off on it. But that leads to my second thing about this, which is even more astounding if you think about this. What happens when a girl is 18 and is posing for Playboy? What do the feminists say when a girl is 18 and legitimately...
she's being exploited.
And she's legitimately getting paid. She's legitimately getting paid to be naked. She knows what she's doing. She's an adult person and has consent and is doing this on her own and is getting paid a handsome amount of money to get to show herself naked or fuck or whatever in a porno, whatever. They are against that because that shows women as objects and exploits women. But a non-consenting child, who could be looked at by pedophiles, is that's considered a bonding thing between mother and daughter.
Actually, I didn't think about that. You're right. Here's a child can't give consent.
So what happens if the mom takes the pictures of the child until she turns 18? After 18, does it become exploitation?
Yeah. Right there, that's the big fucking hypocrisy in this.
There's a bunch of it. I mean, but it makes first. It's definitely not appropriate. I'm sorry. If you want to share those pictures, then you have to have the child clothed. There just has to be some kind of standard. If there's not. And because that child is consenting. A clothed child can consent because they understand sexuality, and there's no sexuality involved. Or if there is, you have to reach for it. Like, oh yeah, I'm a 35-year-old man who likes 8-year-old girls in overalls. Oh God, look at her in those overalls. What are you gonna do? You can't do anything.
Jack off over anything.
That's exactly my point. You can't do anything about that. But when you go, oh, I didn't know that the man would be masturbating over my daughter's pictures of naked, or the woman, of course. She's got fucking plunging a fucking broom down her twat. Oh, look at that 8-year-old girl in overalls. Whatever.
That was a nice little slopping sound.
Thank you very much.
Well, she did an interview. The certain photography blog or whatever interviewed her, and she said that she planned this out, and it never occurred to her to take pictures of the daughter without clothes. Like, it was specifically planned like this. And honestly, like, I think a lot of women will like to pretend that they're like innocent sexually, but they know what's going on.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's my point. Well, and of course, you always say, oh, there's some dude looking at this girl. What if there's some fucking chick?
I'm just thinking anybody, any adult.
Yeah, what if the adult woman's looking like, oh my god, look at this, look at that little lovely fucking.
She's got a little juicy twat.
Yes,
you know,
that's fucking disgusting.
Juicy.
Oh god, even the thought of it makes me.
Yeah.
But and then the thing is, okay, if now someday, I mean, I plan on having kids, later down the line. I would never in a billion years want naked pics of my daughter or my son or anything like that. I just think that that's crossing the line as a parent. Like, as a parent, you need to be responsible, and you need to be looking out for your child's best interest. And I think it's creepy because she used this to get fame and to advance her career. So she is now a teacher at a major university here in the state of Arizona, and she's an online professor. And the weird thing is she's in Boston, but somehow she's like a professor here at this college, like she's...
It's an online class, then. You don't actually go into the classroom and see this woman, is that right?
No, but, and then she, like, posted some stuff today on the discussion board. There were some pictures there, and it was like it was a painting of a picture, and it was like some, like, topless girls who have been, like, blown up or something.
Well, the thing you sent me, she was talking about a bunch of kids that she was photographing that were like 11 years old, and remember?
That was it. Yeah, just like I sent you that an hour ago. Like, it was just like I copied and pasted. But the picture was, like, it was just a bunch of topless girls, and it was a painting. But it's like, or actually, no, I think it was something else. It was like one of her friend's kids. But it's like she has a history of photographing kids. So because
why the topless? Why?
That's the next question.
Well, not even topless. Okay, let's go here. I mean, obviously, because here's something that people talk about. Why can women go around not being topless while men go around and they can be topless? I'll tell you why. All right, because breasts are a sexual object. They are more than just. It's some way that they are. They just are, man. When someone puts their arm in your face and leans against you with their arm, and you're a dude and you're, a straight dude or whatever, or even a lesbian female, whatever, whoever you're attracted to women. Actually, I don't know, maybe that's a weird, interesting thing. I wonder if women are attracted to breasts as much as dudes are. But I can tell you this. If a woman leans against you with her arm, and you're like, oh, that's cool, then that's one thing. If a woman leans against you and you feel her boob, all right? Now, come on now. Both, I mean, and then you're thinking, and you don't think she knows that her boob's against your arm. In other words,
yeah, no, you're definitely cognizant of it,
and
sure.
And she's cognizant of it too.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
It just honestly, like, I'm not so much against like consenting adult females, if they wanted to go topless or whatever. I don't think they should be thrown in jail for it. But honestly, like, it is though a sexual thing. I mean, it's
I don't think they should be thrown in jail either. I think that's exactly where I was going with that. So, even 11-year-old boys in a
well, that's it. Especially if they're naked.
Yeah, 11-year-old boys with like
testicles.
Just think about that. Yeah, think about a picture of like 11-year-old boys, like no shirts on, like it's still weird. It's still weird. It's still weird when they're that young. It doesn't matter either. Now that I think about it.
Well, and the naked thing, dude, that's what's fucking with me. Like, a naked man, I don't even want to think about it, but a naked 12-year-old girl's pussy or some shit like that.
They're not going to show that. She's not like sitting spread eagle, I'm sure. She's probably in some position where she's standing and.
I can't say because I didn't want to look at the pics. But the thing of it, for obvious reasons, I don't want to see naked kids.
Yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go there either. So
the underlying thing about this is the fact that people just either excuse female sexual predation when if it's like the same acts being done by a man, I mean, they go ape shit.
Yes.
It's basically this is why a big reason is like women want to talk about a rape culture. Well, I think it's a lot harder to be a male rape victim or a victim of any type of female sexual assault, even for women, than it is for if it's you're a victim of a dude or something.
Try reporting that rape. as a dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah, they laugh at you. I mean, like a bunch of cops, like a bunch of, like, let's just say it's a bunch of male cops or something, and they just look at you like, what is this, a joke?
Yeah, or are you a faggot or some,
well,
some shit? Either way.
Yes, that most likely that's the way it's going to be. But that's also part of the shame culture, and it's not just perpetrated by the police. It's perpetrated by pretty much everybody, including these so-called empathetic females who. I mean, let's just face it. Most of the time, men's lives don't matter as much as women's. I mean, in the overall scheme of things, I mean, there's a reason why
women are valued more. Like women, this is a woman's world, guys. Like, I mean, unless you're really rich, it's really hard to be a dude. Like, if you're a poor dude,
well,
it kind of sucks. But if you're a poor woman, I mean, it's like you have more opportunity.
Let's be honest here. There are two sides to this story. See, I'm not the type who's because what you don't want to get yourself into is you don't want to get yourself into the identity Olympics, man. You don't want to get into that fucking, well, women have it worse.
I got it harder than you.
Men have it worse. Blind people have it worse, because then all you're doing is now in some ways, it's like with Max, in some ways everyone thinks that in every way Max has it worse than us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wrong, dude. Because Max, if you could say a whole bunch more shit than I could before I got my shit kicked out of me, dude. I guarantee it in any fucking sense of the word.
Fuck yeah.
You could do it.
I mean, shit balances out, man.
That's what I'm saying. So it balances out. But but they don't want to see that. See, they can't see that, because if it did balance out, then they would have to take equal responsibility for certain things. And that's what you don't want to do, because power comes from putting all the responsibility on their power on other people, because that's what victim culture is about. And that's what feminism and a lot of the culture, and even normal everyday life, is about.
Absolutely.
Well, and women, though, when it comes to sex, I mean, women control sex. Like, women, basically, they have all the power when it comes to sex, and sex is being used as a weapon by a lot of women. And
yes,
I think what separates the good women from the bad women I think a good woman is a woman who knows she has that power and chooses not to exploit it, while the messed up women are the ones who know they have that power and they use it intentionally to screw over guys. And even women, I mean, because honestly, I mean, it works the same way. Like, if it's like a female teacher sleeping with some girl, molesting some girl, well, the female teacher still gets off just as easy as if she was molesting a boy. It's like, it works. I mean, like, it's like when women commit sex crimes, it's like they get slaps on the wrist, and when women commit violent crimes, they still get slaps on the wrist. So honestly, like, this whole feminism thing about how women are so oppressed in this country, they're really not oppressed in America. They're oppressed in Saudi Arabia.
No, they're protected in a lot of ways. And in fact, while men and women have in some ways different burdens on society, and there are different expectations in terms of legal rights, quite frankly, men have a lot of rights that don't have a lot of rights. So that's a whole different story. I mean, we can go into that.
Oh yeah. Well, and two, women can get away with, like in the workplace, women can get away with, hugging someone.
Well, women can get away with not having. Yeah.
What's up?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that if you're a man and you initiate hugging, there's either an underlying, oh, you're a pervert, and they could actually technically file a sexual harassment suit against you.
Well,
but even if they don't do that, there's still that fear that, I better not do that. Dude, you don't believe how many times I've had to stop myself. One time my very first assistant that I worked with, when her husband left her was asked for a divorce. She found something out while she was at work, and she was crying. She was fucking hysterical. And I came in, and I'm like, I wanted to hug her, but I was like, I better not try, because it may get construed as something else. And it's sad that you got to be that afraid to even go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is there. And that's definitely in yeah, that definitely wouldn't happen if that was the other way around. Because first of all, if you got hysterical in the middle of the office, people would look at you like a fucking retard.
Well, dude, and personal space goes out the window when you're blind.
Well, I'm not talking about just you. I'm talking about you being a dude. I mean, how many dudes can actually bust out crying in the middle of work?
Oh, right,
yeah,
like
a fool. Like half
totally
the people in the office
hysterical.
being like, "What the fuck? One that guy needs to take care of his shit, control his shit."
Well, it was just her and I there. That's the one thing, that particular day.
I know, but even if but that's what I'm talking. I guess my point is that I'm talking about these different. I know where you're going at with that in terms of not being able to touch to touch a coworker. But I guess my thing is also that you wouldn't be able to even just take that whole situation. You wouldn't be able to, as a dude, you have to control yourself. Like, I can't just start crying like this. It doesn't matter what's going on. I have to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Even if you were just you and her in the office, no one there, you wouldn't be like.
Yeah.
But she
You're
feels
right.
like she has the right to do
I'd
that.
have to. Well, what they tell me is, what I just said. They have to go and compose yourself.
Exactly. Be a man. Of course. So
yeah, but just double standards. Like, and honestly, I mean, I really wish that a lot of these younger girls who are getting brainwashed at my college would see this. Like, I mean, there's a lot of younger girls. They believe in the SJW bullshit, and it's and men too. And it's like my whole college. It's a big liberal university, and it just really sucks.
Well, what university isn't though? That's the problem. They're all that way.
Yeah. And it's like colleges are controlled by liberals. It's like it's very hard to find. I've had conservative professors though before, and I had a close relationship with one. Like, he was like a father figure to me, and we hung out. He was the dude who screwed me over at the barbecue, coincidentally. I think I told you about that, but
yeah, I saw
but
that.
he was very conservative, and he got ran out of Central Arizona College by the liberal, basically the female department head for philosophy, who basically wanted a more liberal professor. This guy wasn't.
It's funny you say this guy gets run out, but yet here you've got this teacher who admits to photographing children. It's all over the net. I wish we could give her name, man, but you said you didn't want to give it, so I definitely don't. I want to respect that, but I mean, man, here's this chick who admits to photographing children naked, and yet she's still teaching.
Yeah, and I'm sure that if someone out there wanted to look her up online, like they could find it, because
she's been banned.
It is online. I just don't want to have this come back to me and get in trouble. So that's why I want to keep it anonymous. But I mean, but I could send this info through a private message or whatever.
Wow, no, see, my philosophy on that is I don't really give a shit about like exposing people. See, I know Max is big on exposing people. For me, it's the idea is if you can find out. Now, if it's out in the news and we comment on it and talk about the person, then fine. But I'm not that expose type shit where we're going to out somebody, because obviously she got banned. She got banned from the.
It's online. If I just gave her name, you guys could look it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're doing a rape by professor search on her and you just type in her name and professor or whatever,
or just type in nude 11-year-old banned in UK. There's your type that. That's the name we'll use. It doesn't really matter. My point is, it's already been allowed. So, but he just doesn't want, whatever. It's no big deal. So the point.
Yeah, there's 3 more weeks left of the semester, and I just don't want any drama at my college. I just felt it's important to bring this up because this just really highlights an issue where it's just like there's some double standards that really screw over men. And
they screw over everybody. That's the problem. It's not a one-way street, because they make women look weak and victimized, which makes them look and are actually being unequal to men. Because men have to when people have to walk around people and adjust themselves to them. It's like living with an invalid. You got to take care of them all the time, and you got to make sure everything's great with them. You're not going to respect them as much. So how can they expect respect when all they continue to do is ask for special treatment and special things, and this is a woman, and this is a mother-daughter bond, and blah blah blah. If they're going to continue to do that and then not take responsibility, then what else are we supposed to think? If you're not willing to take responsibility for your own shit and have equal footing, if you're going to get mad at somebody for doing the same thing, then you don't deserve the power and the equality that you're asking for. You either take it and take this responsibility, and then all right, cool, that's how it works.
But you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you can't have it, but that's the thing, that they want it both ways. It's like they said, they want to be taken. They want to be assertive and pick the place to eat, but they still want you to pay for it. It's
right, exactly.
And this is not all women.
Cake and eat it too, shit.
Because
and then they complain and saying you're being sexist and you're supporting the patriarchy by paying for it, but then they still don't reach for the check.
Yeah,
they want you to pay for it.
And that's
they want all the benefits, like not all women, but it's like the neo-feminists basically. They want all the benefits that were afforded to them in the patriarchy while being able to get all the benefits afforded them to the modern day America. And it's basically, they want to have their cake and eat it too. And, it's
well, because it's all, and it just reconfirms the moral victim. But it's also just the way shit works, because guys are naturally going to protect women. I mean, come on, all of us feel it. There's nothing wrong with it. If there are women being hurt, it's almost an instinctual like idea to like, hey, we need to help them. And this is nothing wrong with this. It's our bodies telling us in a way. With dudes, it's like, all right, I might help this dude, but I don't know what I'm getting myself into. With a chick, it's like, oh man, she's getting her ass beat. That's why it's a natural thing. So these things are also, if we accept them, instead of fight against this shit, because dudes, there's nothing wrong with like wanting to, in a way, wanting to protect, but it's like. Well,
I don't know if I would step my ass in something like that. I think I'd probably just call 911.
I wouldn't I wouldn't either. But but you know what I'm talking about, because it's also a societal thing. Like if you look around, it's like, hey, dude, why didn't you help that girl? I didn't know her. Oh, dude, it doesn't matter, dude. She was beat up, dude. You don't know her, but you know she's a girl. No,
she's weak and limited.
And the reason we do that is because they're the ones that they are less strong, and they are the ones who have the babies. So that's why we do that. It's not like it's really hard to figure out why this shit goes the way it does. It's not some big grand master patriarchal plan to rule the fucking world. It's because it's because men can't have babies, and they can impregnate multiple women. And so they go out and they hunt and gather. They're stronger. They go out and hunt and gather. Their minds are focused on single-minded things. That's why we're much better at quote-unquote single-minded and not multitasking, although multitasking, that's a different subject. But the point is that we are focused on shit because that's what we had to do. They stayed and protected the family, which is just as important as feeding the family, because you obviously have to have someone there to watch the baby and feed the baby while the man goes off and gets the food to do that. Supply, man goes to get the shit. But so... I don't know where the fuck I was going with that, but it sounded good while I was going.
It did sound great. Well, I got one more question for you, James. How is this woman as a professor? I mean, do you kind of listen to her and go, is this bitch off her fucking rocker, or what kind of person is she?
Well, she does. She comes off to me. She basically posts YouTube videos, and she goes over assignments. Like, it's an online class, so it's not. So I don't get the in-person experience, but. What she does is she seems to really be into photographing people and really more perverse art and stuff. So it's I think she has a perverted side, but of course women can't be perverted.
No.
I don't really consider. I mean, I guess it's photography, but that's what modern art is. Because I've been looking at a lot of shit there's a lot of stuff about modern art right now. There's a dude named Paul Joseph Watson.
I love that dude.
He had a couple of weeks ago. He had a couple of days ago, probably about a week ago now. Who fucking knows, man? Time blurs. But he had this thing about modern art. He was talking about how people he had this dude on there, like he was sitting on this swing, right? This dude. This is the art right here, Max. This is the kind of shit that they consider art now, modern art.
Okay.
And this guy's sitting on a swing. He has a big long pole, sticking out of his crotch, right? On
supposed
a
to be
spring,
his dick, of course, right?
And he's jumping up and down, banging this pole up against a pole that's going horizontal. It's almost
that holds the swing set up.
And he's banging this fucking this dick pole. It's flopping back up and down ding 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 ding, and he's going and that's considered modern art. It was some kind of. And there was a chick who hung a bunch of tampons on a bunch of strings. Right, and they were her used tampons, and it was supposed to.
I talked about that one time. A tampon wind chime.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess the whole point is that that's all part of that.
Not crazy, man.
There's a difference between art and porn. I think a real artist, just it's like that TV show Game of Thrones. Do you think it would be anywhere near as popular if they didn't have all the violence and the sex in it? If it was just a normal show, like Breaking Bad, they didn't need to use sex or shock value. They wrote a good story,
Yeah. I'm not a big Game of Thrones fan myself, honestly. I think it's overrated.
Well, I gotta see Breaking Bad. Everybody tells me to watch it. I haven't.
Great show, and it'll make you, it'll make you want to start cooking meth and making some money on the side.
Right on.
Shit, I'd buy some right now.
Very, very well written show. It's to me, the shows I hold highest in regard are the stuff that you don't need to have shock value. You don't need to resort to that stuff. You could just make something that's actually art, make something that's actually interesting, because that actually takes talent. Like these so-called artists.
Speaking of that, oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's a good segue. I think we worked that one for a while. So what
I was going to say, this actually works right into it. It's actually good because when you talk about Netflix, you know, I was saying Breaking Bad is up there on Netflix. I got to check it out. Well, I saw this other show, and I'll tell you guys, man, I know this is juvenile as fuck, but I can't help it. I don't think I'm ever going to get used to seeing two men kissing.
You homophobe.
You know, it's like, and that's what people would say. Oh, you're homophobic. No, it's weird to me. It's strange. It's
okay. So I guess there was a show where two guys were kissing on the show, right?
There are several I've seen now, and I've kind of gone each time. You know what I mean?
Well, there's nothing. See, that's the thing. You're being shamed into not being who you are, and that's society trying. This is the same thing as people shaming two men for kissing. It's the same thing, but it's the opposite way. It's like now you should not feel, you should not have the barf reflex when two men kiss. Well, I got the barf reflex when two men kiss because I'm straight. All right.
Exactly.
Sorry, exactly. It's not like you said. I mean, now when you see it, sometimes you're probably like, ugh, and then it's over with, and then you get on.
Kind of cringed. I was like,
but you get over it, and you're not like, okay, that needs to be removed. You're just like,
no, it was traumatic or anything.
No, it's just something that you're worried about when you shouldn't be. Because if you weren't, you probably wouldn't be. Most guys are not gonna. I have a barf reflex when I think about it. It makes me kind of sick. Like
Go ahead.
What
if it's a lesbian chick who has a barf reflex when she sees a straight couple kissing? I mean, is that heterophobic?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's not. Or what if it's more simple? Let's get more simple. What if it's a dude in a show and he's sucking on some toes? I don't want to see that shit. I don't like that.
If it's
you're toephobic.
Yeah, I'm toephobic, so I don't like seeing certain stuff. Just like I don't like seeing certain scenes. See, I'm not really big on lesbian scenes, honestly. I don't really like two chicks either. Kind of.
Yeah, I think that, but that's just me, you know.
There was some study that the reason why most guys are not all guys, but a lot of guys are into it. They did a study with koala bears. It's like it excites them or something. It's like it's linked to the koala bears. The koala bears go crazy for like lesbianism too.
Really?
Yeah. Well, that doesn't. I mean, I understand the premise behind it, and it doesn't make me sick like a two dudes do. But it still just doesn't like. It's just like, all right, yeah, you're right. You're two chicks. You're kissing. Big fucking deal. Oh my God, it's two for the price of one.
About men, you know, even if another dude was sucking another guy's dick, now, like in the same room, you know, I'd have to leave.
Yeah, I'd have to get the fuck out of there myself, dude. Now, if two chicks, now here's the thing: if two chicks were kissing in a room and I wasn't involved, I'd have to leave. But if two chicks were sitting,
that wouldn't bother me. I don't, and people might call that a double standard, but that's just my makeup, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
No, see, I'm talking about like kissing, like really hardcore, getting into it, like fucking, like just totally on each other. Like I'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing this here with me here?" Now, if they were like, "Hey, do you want to join in?" I'd be like, "All right, now I'm a part of the thing here." See, that's different. So now I can get into it because I'm part of it. But if I'm just sitting there watching it, like I don't like lesbian porn. It doesn't do anything to me.
See, for me, and like I said, it doesn't. I don't care. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. But for two dudes, it's just gross. You know, it's like,
oh God, no, God, sitting you hear someone. Oh
yeah, dude.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, no, guys are just more disgusting. Let's just say that, dude.
I think a big reason for the disgust too is like okay, is you're just not into dudes, but I think with lesbianism, I think a big part of it too is a lot of guys. Not only are they attracted to girls, so two girls is better than one, I guess, but it's like they could learn something from lesbian porn. Like they could learn how to better pleasure a woman because women aren't as open as guys are about what they like sexually because they're afraid of being called a whore.
Well, I mean, there's no real reason. I guess the point is there's nothing wrong with anybody being attracted to anything or unattracted to anything. There's nothing wrong with somebody like I don't like dark-skinned women. That I'm just not that attracted to them. Sorry for that to be the case, but that's just the case.
Ooh, you're a racist.
Yeah, and a lot of people aren't attracted to visually impaired dudes or middle-aged white dudes who don't make a lot of money. So what am I supposed to do? You know, like I can't do anything about it. They can't do anything about it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Is a black dude racist for like being into white chicks but not black chicks? Is he racist against black people if he does that?
No, it's just it's called preference. But yeah,
well, you know, and here's another thing I've heard a lot because I've dated a few black women, and they've always said to me, you know, this is the first time I've dated out of my race, You know, I'm not even thinking about that shit. You know, what if this was my first time dating out of my race? You don't hear me talking about some shit like that. You know, it's just not at the forefront of my mind. You know, I don't care.
Yeah,
I think
that's where we're at, man, because we don't care, and everyone cares now about every little thing. Identity politics is everywhere, man. It's ruining the fucking existence. It's just awful.
Oh, totally.
It's going to continue because, like, basically every group is protected unless you're white, straight, heterosexual, or Christian. Like, I mean, like every group is protected, and there's like special rights, you know. And like, I love how they use terms like mansplaining, but then they get all pissed off if you say
bossy or bitchy, yeah.
You know?
And I had another example of that. Yeah, I think I talked about that on my last mansplaining, manspreading. That's so you can say that, but you can't say anything about women because that's being sexist. But you can actually have words, derogatory terms about what men do. Mansplaining is when men cut off women, or when men try to understand women's experience and try to explain them. Yeah, that's mansplaining.
I love
man
who thinks of this shit, honestly.
And they use them. They use them.
White liberals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much because it's you know, it's my personal conspiracy, man. I honestly think that people understand that holding power over a shit ton of people and holding all the money requires that everyone's always at each other's throats. So the best way to do that is to always breed mistrust over stupid shit that, first of all, can't be changed, but second of all, it doesn't really have anything to do with who you are, because otherwise you'd have to talk about ideas. And you can't group people into things like Nazi, like, oh my God, you're a Nazi. Why am I a Nazi? Because you believe that white people should have, you know, in white nationalism. Well, that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. It just means you believe in white nationalism. Because you can believe in black nationalism or feminism or anything else. But then you're a Nazi, so since you're a Nazi and I labeled you a Nazi, now I can do whatever you want because we can do whatever we want to Nazis. Oh, you sympathize with him? You're a Nazi sympathizer. You're just as bad as a Nazi. In fact, you really are a Nazi too, because if you didn't sympathize with them, then you wouldn't be a Nazi. So you're a Nazi too, so now we can hurt you as much as we can hurt the first person. And you know, identity politics, there it is.
Getting into the racial thing, okay, like there was this dude on Facebook, and I saw this last night. I was searching for it because of the whole controversy, because of the Pepsi ad, because...
The fucking awful, stupid Pepsi ad. Who gives a shit about the Pepsi ad? Fucking dumb.
But it's like, here's the thing, though. It's like, okay, this dude, he was a light skin. I think he was like half Hispanic, half black. And
is this the guy who does I'm not trying to tell you to drink that Pepsi, or I would never tell you to drink a Pepsi. Is that guy?
No.
This is like some random dude. So I saw this last night, and he's all talking about white splaining, and he's like saying that, you know, this is appropriating black culture, and it's like an insult to Black Lives Matter. And then people are on there like talking common sense. Like there's like 2 or 3 people on there saying, shut the fuck up, you're being stupid. And all these people jumped on, all his friends. They jumped on the bandwagon. And, you know, it's just so stupid because they're pissed off because it showed a protester being nice to a cop. And so in their mind, that's racist because, you know, doing something nice for a cop, you know, you might as well be Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, it's the Black Lives Matter. Yeah, there's always some new controversy, Max. If you get on YouTube and actually get on some of the channels that I do,
you know, there's so much of that shit. I after a while I have to tune it out, man. Yeah, I'm just like it'll just completely fucking.
I'm there too, but that's the newest one. The newest outrage now is the Pepsi thing, where there's a Pepsi commercial where they had Pepsi and they were protesting, and they were peacefully protesting because they had Pepsi. You know, it was the whole fucking, you know, like to teach the world to sing. And that's the thing. Someone brought that up, dude. Someone said, dude, if Coca-Cola brought out one of the most well-loved and best ads ever back on TV, it would be probably considered racist. And that's the, I'd like to buy the world a Coke.
Then drink it with me. Yeah, that one.
The best known ad in history. Literally, it really is. It's considered the best ad in history.
Probably the most well-known ad
in history for at least for a generation, for several generations. If they brought that back, motherfuckers would be like, "What do you mean buy the world a Coke? Are you saying that we're slaves? Are you saying we're buying?" No, somebody would say some fucked up shit.
Yeah, somebody would find something wrong with. See, that's the problem. There's always an asshole, a social justice warrior, you know, trying to find some shit wrong with something. Well, did you see my post the other day, you guys, when I said something about something being gay, and a guy on my friends list goes, "Oh yeah, because fuck gay people, huh?"
Oh, I saw that.
You see that?
I forgot exactly what you said, but I remember him. I remember the post of the guy getting all butthurt.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, and now you have to go into explaining yourself. I have to mansplain, or straight-splain, or whatever the fuck they're calling it now.
That's bad, because you can't straight-splain because you're just a straight person. You don't know how hard it is to be gay. It's so hard because all the rights that I don't have, I have every right. And even marriage, which is debatable because whether marriage should be a right or not, or just something that you do between two people that's not covered by the government, but that's a different story.
It's an industry. It's an industry. Like, okay, we just had a big gay pride festival the other day here in Phoenix. Like, it's the big annual one.
Yay, they're gay and it's proud. Now we want to be treated differently.
Everybody embrace it.
It's like okay, I'm sure you guys are aware of that asshole Tim Weiss. Well, he's a white guy who's basically he's making money off the race hustling. Like, he's like a white person who's telling black racists everything they want to hear, and they go out and buy his books.
So he's a token Peckerwood.
Is that like that dude who have you seen the dude?
Tim Weiss, a white like me. That's what he's famous for. Like he's
that guy. Okay, I know who that is. Yep, the white like me guy.
Oh. I found out about him in Com 263, which is a class I took at Central Arizona College. Like it was this liberal professor who was a really nice lady, but she's from California, and she played it, and this white dude was all pissed off about white privilege and pissed off about. He was talking like he was like the Grand Wizard of the KKK, but he was a white dude. It was crazy.
You mean against white people?
Yeah, totally against white people.
So like white people are evil, white people are stupid.
Basically, white people so bigoted. Like, what he was doing, he was playing a bunch of clips that racist people from the 1960s era Alabama said, and he was spinning all this shit around to make it out like, black people are so oppressed and, white people are so racist against black people.
Oh, I've heard about that. He's basically just a guilt. He's just white guilt ridden. He's just a fucking cocksucker. But he's playing off and making a shit ton of money off of it.
He lives in a really nice, exclusive gated community in Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure
keep those niggers out of his neighborhood. Is that what it is?
He doesn't. He probably doesn't have any black people over for dinner.
No, I'm sure that's what it is. It's to keep the niggers out. I'm sure he might have a few black guys that are servants. That are like his.
But he's doing that to protect them because he knows that if they didn't have the white hand that would be able to guide them, God, because us evil white people, man, we're so powerful and so much just better than these fucking Negroes that we just got to guide them. We gotta keep them going. That can be taken into context, of course, because what I'm really saying is it's all white guilt is called arrogance and white supremacy wrapped up in the guise of guilt. It's what you're really saying is, oh well, these black people, they can't make it without the hand up. They can't make it without the handout. They need us. They can't do this alone. I mean, look, that's why we have Ebonics. They can't learn the English language, even though Pedro, this is a great thing by Tommy Sotomayor. I heard this quote today. It's great from him. Because he was on the Dave Rubin show. Dave Rubin basically, guys, folks, if you want a moderate voice who interviews everyone and who's completely about free speech, which is the most important fucking thing in this world right now, is free speech and freedom of expression and getting away from this identity politics. If you want to know a lot about a lot of interviews and interviewing these kind of people, David Rubin. But anyways, Tommy Sotomayor said, he goes, white people said, oh yeah, we invented Ebonics for black people. Ebonics, you don't have to learn the English language. Of course, Pedro can take his family across the fucking border, and in 10 years, he's speaking fluent English.
Yeah.
Well,
so guess what that means?
The Mexicans in Mexico speak better English than the Mexicans here. How's that?
No, not even the Mexicans. I'm talking about the fact is that it's a lower standard. Like, we give you Ebonics, black people, because you've been living here for 400 years and you can't speak English very well. But Pedro can cross the border, and 10 years later, he's teaching English at a university.
Oh, right. He can come over here from his country.
Yes, exactly. No, what the point is that black people are. It's a means of saying black people are too stupid to learn the language. So we're going to give you your own language. We had
to break it down so you guys could kind of.
No, Ebonics is your language. That's all you can. That's why you say B-I-T-D-A, because you can't learn English.
The big problem here is that the Democrat Party needs to give handouts to these groups and pander to these groups to get votes. Because honestly, like that's it, and it's Democrat policies that hold black people back. I mean, like, it's like NAFTA and like trade deals like that outsourced all American jobs. Where do you think a lot of black people had jobs before, like, the last 20, 30 years. Like, I mean, like a lot of black people worked in factories, a lot of black people work construction, and now those jobs have gone to illegal immigrants if they are here, and they've all been shipped off to China, so it's like, and then the welfare state, giving handouts, and basically that's what hurts the black community. It's like the lack of opportunity, it's like,
well, because of lack of full families, lack of father. I mean, it's amazing that ever since 1960s, another thing I was listening to today, and the thing that it's interesting, 92% of black families in the 1960s, early 60s, late 50s, were children were born in wedlock. Today,
wow, really?
It's 24%.
That's a high ass. That's one of those staggering statistics, where
today
you're just
it's
like
24%. Went from 92 in the 60s to 24% today.
It's gone down quite.
Well, yeah, because I'm talking about 92% in wedlock. In other words, 92% of babies born were born to married couples. Today, it's 24% that are born to married couples or non-single parents.
And a big part of that, though, too, to be fair, is the decline of marriage. Because honestly, like, the problem is marriage isn't that popular because the divorce laws and stuff. It's like there's a lot of negatives that go along with being married. So it's like there's less incentives than ever to be married, and so a lot of people just don't want the drama of a marriage.
Yeah, but the main reason for that in the inner cities is because women are getting paychecks for having kids, and they don't have to have the father around because they're being told that they're amazing regardless of what they do.
Well, it's encouraged. It's encouraged by the government. The more kids you have, the more money you're going to get.
And then there's no 2-parent families around, so there's only one parent to interact, and only one parent to and that's not good for. It's been scientifically proven that it's not good for kids to grow up in single-parent families. It just isn't.
And then you have a lot of angry young black males who are pissed off,
and they do the same exact thing,
and they get in the gains.
Let's say this, because cruise control. You and I are from. Well, I mean, we had both of our parents, but our parents were separated, were divorced. You know what I'm saying? So we had our parents. So just because somebody's divorced, doesn't make it bad. But yeah, both parents have to play an active role in the kid's life.
Exactly, a very active role, or an equal role. And in my case, it wasn't. And I can look back and see things now, like, oh, okay, I get that. I get why it's
certain
the way
things
it is.
that you pick up.
And even you can probably in certain ways like see things like, well, if they were always together, think about how different you would be if they were always together.
Well, I don't know if it would be for the better necessarily.
You don't know if it would be for the better or not, but I guess it may not have been. I guess it's obviously for I don't believe people.
I couldn't even see my parents together.
See, I couldn't either. I couldn't either. But I guess my point is that if you have that lifestyle where you're born into that and that's all you see, like think about it, you got all these women around and no men because the men are either in jail or they're not or whatever, or they're not around because
when they're not active at all, that's where it's fucked up. If they had. All right, mommy lives at one house, daddy lives at another house. I see the one on 1 week and the other one the other week. Then
but if you don't even know who your daddy is, like if you have no idea who your daddy is, think about that. Right. I have no idea.
Yeah, imagine that. Like these fuckers are hunting down their dads. You know what I'm saying?
And mommy's like, it's okay, baby, because you give me $350 a month, so it's all good.
And the moms don't want them finding their dads either, which is crazy.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
And I think higher income families too actually get punished when they have more kids. Like, so I think that's a big problem is when the more educated, the more intelligent people, they barely have any kids if they have any kids at all. And yet, these poor families that are uneducated, that have all this chaos going on, and they get into drugs and gangs, they're having all these kids. So it's like it's a vicious cycle. Like it's like. And there's a lot of good people that come from poor backgrounds. It's not like you're fucked if you grew up poor.
But the statistics don't lie, though. The trends are there, and they're there for a reason. And it's because of that culture is not looked into. Like I said, there's dozens of people dying every day because of black on black crime. Yet they worry about the 1 or 2 people every year who might have a wrongful death due to a police officer.
They want to blame their lack of success. They want to blame their lack of success on white privilege, but white privilege doesn't exist. I mean, it definitely doesn't exist for poor white people. I think the only type of privilege is rich privilege. Like you think Michael Jordan's kids, don't.
And Michael Jordan's not a white
Of
Man,
course,
is he?
of course. But,
You know,
but some
not
people
my
would
check.
say, some
And
people
look at
would
Obama.
say,
Look at Obama. He's at Tahiti. He's at a apparently gay male resort in Tahiti for a whole month without Michelle with all his male friends. And this is like on Marlon Brando's private island resort, you know, and that's like $250,000 a night.
I don't even give a shit. I don't look into that. So so Obama's in a gay resort. That's the rumor going around.
Yeah, I remember you sent me that some time ago about Obama being gay. Yeah, I don't really give a shit. That's like one of those things.
That's the point for me. See, I don't give a shit because I mean it's a cover up and it's kind of funny. But
well, it's sexism against Michelle. He should let her go. He's being sexist.
They have an agreement. If he's there for a month on his own with a bunch of dudes, and she knows he's getting, she was the fucking first lady. I don't think she's upset about anything at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be like, oh my god, you fucked another man and didn't tell me.
She has nothing to worry about. She's got her daughters, she's got herself. You know, Obama. They're probably really good friends. They probably talk and chat over coffee, and he's like, you know.
He's sucking a dick.
She's fucking riding. She's riding a vibrator.
I like a big cock down my throat. Because
Obama used to be against gay marriage and abortion when he ran for president. Then he flipped.
Of course, it's politics. But no one gives a shit because see, that's the thing. As long as you go toe the party line, it doesn't matter whether you really believe it or not. That's why it astounds me that gay people aren't more questioning of that and just mistrusting. Like, okay, so the first time you ran for president, you weren't for gay marriage. The second time, since you've seen tides change a little bit more, you are. Okay, I don't really trust that.
Speaking of that, folks, that's another nice transition. Here's some shit with Trump.
Here we go.
And one of them is very personal for me. Now, okay, I'm not going to say what I do, but obviously my job is funded entirely by a grant. And so it's what's called soft funded. So if that grant goes away, then guess what? My job goes away.
Oh, wow.
So I just found out the other day, and I saw some shit on one of these listservs, where somebody was talking about Trump's budget, it's, a listserv through our work and everything. And I'm like, okay, whatever. A lot of times I don't listen unless it comes from somebody on high. You know what I mean? Well, the other day I'm talking to my boss, and she goes, have you been following this whole legislative thing? And I said, no. And she goes, well, we only got part of our grant. And I said, oh, really? She's like, yeah, Trump has not allocated any money for our grant, which means that's the grant that pays me, that pays Kraken, and a few other people. And I'm thinking, fuck, if that grant goes away, I'm out of a job, So, and a lot of this is Trump trying to cut the fat, but I think, too, trying to cut the fat for his corporate cronies. So there's more of that bullshit going on, you know what I'm saying? So, and obviously there's nothing set in stone yet. From what my boss said, obviously Trump can propose one thing, Congress can do a whole nother, and we may not know anything until October. But the fact of, wow, here's a dude who supposedly talks about, oh, we want to get people off welfare, people should be working and earning their dollar and this and that. But now all of a sudden, because of your shit, I might be out of a job. Other people might be out of jobs.
But that's the problem with when you bloat government, you can't shrink it. That's the problem, because when you bloat government and you have stuff that some people don't think is necessary, or whatever, when you bloat those things, when you have those, then the people that have those jobs think it's awful and you're heartless to remove them. But then you get mad about other government programs that you think need to be removed, right?
Oh, sure.
And guess who has? But guess who has jobs removed at that point? It's not.
Well,
I'm not saying that you should have that your service should be removed. My point is that there has to be something done, because there's a lot of people getting paid that probably,
Here's the thing. There are a lot of unnecessary. You got 9 departments. For instance, dude, Social Security. You got 9 departments doing one job. Some of that shit can be cut out. Some of that's got to be consolidated.
But when that happens, jobs are lost.
Well, or people are moved around. You know what I'm saying? Something. They got to do something to, where you got some. You're right. Some self-entitled bureaucrat jackoff. You need me at this job. I'm important. when really they're not. They're just another paper pusher. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, James, are you digging a fucking grave out there? What the fuck are you doing?
I was gonna say, it sounds like you're digging some fucking something. You're breathing heavy, and I hear grass and shit.
Oh, I'm just walking through. I'm walking through like a field. Yeah, I'm just listening to you guys.
Okay. So anyway, and also too, a lot of what's sucking up money from taxpayers is what we talked about earlier, the allowing the dishonesty. Oh well, Taquisha, if you have more kids, you get Safads more money.
I think, yeah, and I definitely think that should be stopped more than
the jobs themselves.
Services.
Yes, that's where the fat is.
But then you stop those, and a lot of the jobs stop too. It's like you have to have one and the other at the same time, man. You can't keep the jobs if there's no jobs to do. If you have 8 people doing one job, and one person can do that job, then consolidating that job means one person does that job. It doesn't mean you break that up to 8 people, because that's just the same thing. The main.
Go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead, James.
Well, I think the big thing though is that Trump is actually doing what he is, what he promised to do. And a big part of like conservative politics is, okay, they want to shrink the size of the government, and the jobs they're talking about generating are like, put tariffs on China and start manufacturing here in America, like jobs that are made from private business, not from government.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well,
Max,
and then we should stop bailing companies out.
Max, you're going to be making the Lay's sour cream and onion stacks packages. That'll be your next job, dude. Because it'll be moving.
And that's it.
It'll be moving back.
I don't mean to. I know we were talking earlier about being the minority and saying you're oppressed, but it is really difficult for someone in my position to find employment, dude. I got lucky. You know what I'm saying? This shit wasn't easy.
Oh no, I know, and I understand where you're coming from. I don't want, and believe me, I don't want anything to happen with you and your job. But I'm just saying, like there's got to be, somebody's got to go, or else. I mean, when you've got midnight basketball, the midnight basketball coach has to go. They got to find a job too, So, and they're doing the same thing. They're going, well, it was really hard for me to find this job. Well, and I know.
I think our program is a little more necessary than fucking midnight basketball.
And I think that's why you'll be fine. I mean, my opinion. I think they'll. This is where the blard comes in, man, and this is where you might tactically want to use the blard. The blard, James, if you don't know what that is the blind card. The blind card is that's what Blindos call it, the blard. It's actually, I think everyone calls it the blard, don't you think, Max?
I think so. Well, no. We've done it, and then we've kind of introduced it to other people. But then,
I guess we're the
ones
ones
who pick it up and go, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about."
And the blard is, well, listen, I'm blind, and you use it to your advantage. Even you pull it out, you pull out the blind card. You're like, ha, here.
Next week I'm supposed to. I really don't see. This is the thing. I'm not up there. In the trenches like they are, knowing what's going on and whatnot. But I'm supposed to go up to Carson next week for a couple days.
Oh, it's that time of year again.
Yep, it's that time of the year. Yeah, exactly. So my supervisor wants me to go to a few of these legislative things with her, and so.
Oh, dude, Blindo out, dude. Do the rockin' fucking Stevie Wonder positivity inspiration, man. Be like, I run a program, like fucking rock, dude. Swing that shit around. I do this. I help these people do this, and you're like, and the people are going, oh, it's the blind man gonna keep his job now. Hey.
It's the feds doing that shit. It's not the people on the state level.
I know, but they can pull for you. They can say, well, we could take away from White Trash Johnny's fucking help a white boy foundation and give it to.
And that's what's so fucked up about this kind of thing. It's like, well, it's a grant and it's only allocated for this, which we know is bullshit. There's plenty of agencies that misappropriate funds and move funds. It's things that they're not supposed to.
It's always a scare tactic. It's always they're gonna shut us down. Oh god damn it, we're gonna lose it all.
Well, here's the thing, because she forwarded me an email because she asked me if I had seen it, and I said no. And then that was the email that where I got the information about we didn't get all of expected from the grant that we were supposed to get. And then I guess the head of our agency responded. He's an old dude, and he said, you know what, we had the same problem in 1981. He's like, we got through it, you know. So he seems optimistic. So that's a lot of people have kind of said the same thing you just did. But still, it's scary, man, because I'm looking at this, and now, James, how you can relate, you know how we've always talked about school. You know how school is shit? You know, because I'm thinking, like, okay, if I lose my job, you know, school is basically a way for adults who don't want or who aren't able to work or don't want to work, look productive. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm in school.
Yeah, well, you could probably find an interesting major, like, you know, like if you went back to school, what would you want to major in if you wanted to pick a new major?
Well, you know, I mean, I probably would go maybe broadcasting, dude, or something. But I don't want to go back to school. You know, I've gone to school since I was 5 years old, 5 to like 25.
Oh, so you don't want to join a frat, dude?
No frats, man. I'm done with the frats.
Okay, let's game plan a little bit here. So if this does, let's do worst case scenario here. We'll wrap up the show with our worst.
That's my mom's. I know this, dude. That's my mom's fucking fallback. Well, why don't you? Because she just said it to me the other day. Have you ever thought about maybe going back to get your master's? And I'm like, hell no. You know,
imagine the debt. Imagine the debt you'd be.
Yeah, there's no reason for it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, but the one good thing, so if this does happen, the one good thing about this is you have a shit ton of public relations experience in doing certain things, man. So you have a shitload
I have experience, but you know what? Unfortunately, and I hate to sound like I'm oppressified, but the white cane cancels that out in a lot of cases, dude.
I think in some ways, but in some ways you can see with job searches are the only time. Now, I don't use like my disability in job searches, but I know sometimes it's kind of helped me. Obviously, doing that program and using that program to get my my Red Rock job, you know, that got me into customer service, right? You know, and they were really happy to have me, and part of the reason was because I fulfilled that Steve quota, man. You know, hey, Jimby, Rimby Dimby, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Exactly. Okay.
And you're articulate, and you don't have. And the best way to play that off, of course, is to not mention or to use the whole. I don't want anyone to think of this because then they do.
Right. And then it's power of suggestion. Well, no. You know what? The one thing that could help me and be a little stronger is some of the connections I have made doing my job.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that would probably be a valuable asset. But I'm thinking, dude, there's still a lot of people that see me, and I can tell by the way they interact with me, you know, at networking events or at other events, that if I came to them for a job, I don't think they'd hire me, dude, because they still see me.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate, but that's a lot of times. You'd be surprised at how much they do that about anybody, though.
Isn't some companies, though, like, because they're hiring disabled workers, don't they get tax breaks? Isn't there a program like that?
There is that, but you know, hey, they got the guy who's bipolar working there. So I mean, what the fuck they need to hire my blind ass for?
You know, because you're not bipolar.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're more, but you got a more distinct, more tangible, more taxable disability.
Well, and mine could be more detrimental, you know what I'm saying? I could sue them, you know, because us blind people, we sue everybody, or we get hurt easily because, you know, we're clumsy, we have a false sense of confidence, you know?
Here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do regardless of anything else. You obviously know what's going on now. You cannot ostracize, man. You cannot ostriches, man. You can't bury that head in the sand, dude. So in other words, you gotta start looking out for shit now and asking questions now.
Oh, I'm going to. When I go up there next week, that's the shit I'm going to do.
Now, the good thing is, you will be, I know this is you're going to be accepted for unemployment if it happens. And I'm going worst case scenario here, obviously. But you got to go that way because you have to be prepared, you know, to think about it.
Right.
So yeah, man, that's my advice, man. Is that what are you gonna do, man? You can be a dude. You know what you should do? You should get a fucking food cart, man, and do a.
Oh, dude. Oh, you know, well, that's the other thing. Okay, like they got this blinded vendors program. Okay, which is a great program, you know, but it's not for everybody. That's like saying, oh, well, we got a program to make it so you can be a rapper. You know, not everybody can rap.
Yeah, man, but I bet you make some. You can cook now, dude. You can put a little like cart in the side of the road and make like steaks on a portable fucking.
Here's the thing, you know, you got to have that. There's the what's the word I'm looking for? You got to be savvy about that kind of shit. Not everybody's business savvy, and I'm not.
You could call it out of sight Sammys or something like that.
Oh, yo, dude. No, it's Sammy's send you some site that I was talking about, dude. The site sandwich.
Out of sight sandwiches. This is the
Well,
best.
anything's better than a Walmart greeter.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I even had trouble getting that when I was looking for jobs, which is kind of funny.
Or you could make a gourmet restaurant called the White Cane, and
telemarketing sucks. Like, have you ever done any telemarketing?
Fuck yeah, that was my first job, dude. I was a telemarketer when I was Cruise Control's roommate, as a matter of fact.
Dude, yeah, that was.
Remember that shit?
Yeah, of course, man. I can't forget that shit. All right, got some roar.
Oh, sorry,
man.
Yeah, well, there's actually a biker bar. Like I'm up in North Pheonix, and there's a biker bar here, and it's like, I remember this biker bar because someone got killed here years ago. Like it was like a Hell's Angels dude who got taken out or whatever. Like like it was so. And then the one thing that sucks too is I don't have any money, but there's this like awesome, like a pork rib type of restaurant here, and you could just smell it.
That sounds great. Like, yeah, you smell it in the air while you're walking by and shit.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm sitting down here in like a parking lot. There's a Jack in the Box and there's like a bank and stuff across the street from Walmart.
Well, one more thing. I don't know if you guys have anything else.
No, I don't. I don't have anything else. Just keep on looking out for everyone being offended as usual. That's the big thing. So
this is kind of funny. Speaking of being offended, so I did my speech. Did I tell you guys about my speech that I'm going to do, or that I was going to do?
No.
At my Toastmasters group. So basically, I decided because I get kind of tartified occasionally and SMJ'd at my fucking Toastmaster group. So I was like, you know what? Let's try to educate these people. So what I did is I did a speech, kind of talking about, I didn't put people specifically on blast, but I talked about certain situations that happened to me in the group and why people don't need to do this. And I even gave a little anecdotal story of, somebody that I had to correct and educate. And once I did, they were fine. You know what I'm saying? And they treated me totally differently than they did when they first met me. You know what I mean? And this was at, I was actually talking about my experience at Bloomfield, funny enough. I used that as an example. So anyway, I got up, and my mentor, I have a mentor now in the group.
Oh, Jesus.
And, yeah. So I was like, hey, I just did a recorded rough draft of my speech. I'd like you to hear it. So she's like, oh, send it over to me, please. So I sent it to her, and of course she responded the way, by the way, the speech was called Your Shoes Won't Fit. And basically what I was saying is, what I always say, a lot of sighted people put their shoes on me rather than trying to walk in my shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Trying to watch and observe. So anyway, that's what the speech is about, basically. Like, hey, don't try to put your shoes on me. Try to watch and observe rather than coming to the table with your preconceived notions of what you read online, what your one blind friend did, and so on and so forth.
What did your speaker person say about it?
My mentor, she said, it's a little harsh, and people don't like to be admonished, and people don't like to be, you kind of have to deal with people with kid gloves and tell them how good they are. They're like
Fuck
babies
a mentor,
in a way.
man. Like, see, that's not the speech. Is like, well, this sentence wasn't formed right, and this was done this way. That's her opinion about what you should be saying, not about how the speech is structured or about how the speech is presented. That's not what she's supposed to be doing.
Exactly. She's supposed to critique on my delivery, things like that. Is it organized well? That type of stuff. But yeah, that was her thing. She threw in her little opinion about, maybe you should tell them what they do well instead. And I said,
good God, are these fucking? This is the problem with our world. We're too afraid to be honest with people. Tell them what you do well. This isn't about what they do though. This is about what they do shitty. It's about what they do crappy.
Is this the group you have to pay for? Like you were talking about this? Like, I mean,
yeah, the Toastmaster group. Yep, that's them.
Dude, go on Meetup and find a better group. At least if it sucks, you're not paying for it.
Yeah, dude. Why do you always get stuck in these groups where you start paying for shit, dude? What the fuck, man? And you can get this shit. You're paying. So you did decide to go in and pay for a couple of months' dues, right?
I redo my dues. It was like $60 or something, for 6 months.
Oh, okay. So. Well, that's not too bad. But the only thing,
it's not like this big thing where you're paying $500 or some crazy shit. No, but I figure, you know what? Let's give them a chance. Let's see how it is. And that's what Toastmasters is, though, man. Toastmasters makes money. People pay to be in Toastmasters.
I know, which is, and you're going to get your tutor who just gave you some useless shit, and you paid $10 for that useless shit.
Take that $60.
Jesus fucking Christ, man! You got a mentor now. Like before, you couldn't do speeches, or could you do speeches still without paying the dues?
No, it was always. I think you always paid dues, man.
Okay, so you had to pay dues if you go at all. So if you
no. If you were a guest, if I went as a guest. But then I would never get to do speeches if I was a guest.
Okay, so but when you get to do speeches, you have to have a mentor. You're required to get a mentor, right?
Well, they say you should have one. I had one for a while, but he was kind of shitty, and he admitted it. He was like, "Sorry, man."
Yeah, this one's going to be just as shitty. Obviously, you need to change you should change what you're saying in the whole speech to make it better. Not about what you're actually fucking talking. Not about like your structure. Your structure's fine. You start out with a great premise. You go into your points. You end it with a conclusion. And your grammar and stuff is great. That's fine. No, but what you need to do is tell them what you did well, what they do well. Ignore all this shit. Ignore the whole point of your fucking speech. Jesus Christ, man.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Groups are really hit or miss. And you know what was really funny too is, okay, I ran into a meetup group. I wasn't part of the meetup group, but I was sitting at a Starbucks, and this was in Scottsdale, North Scottsdale. Basically, I was just bumming the Wi-Fi. I didn't buy anything, but there was this meetup.com group that got together like at the tables out front. I'm on my Mac, and I'm just like, downloading porn. No, I was just downloading some stuff off YouTube.
It was what's her name's pictures of her daughter, right?
No, I think it was some, I don't know.
The elephant and a large overweight black lady. Yeah.
No, I think it was Natalia Starr. Anyway, so basically, there was this group, and it was like a polyamory group or whatever. Like where you're married, but everyone has open relationships, but it isn't exactly swinging.
Yeah. Oh, it's a polygamous, or kind of. I know what you're saying.
Polyamory, and there's this, and they're talking about openly about like how they get together and stuff, and so that was kind of like a really funny experience because we're all just sitting out at Starbucks, and this group just.
And you're listening to what they're talking about, like, oh yeah, and the guy I fuck on Friday, and he comes in my face.
Yeah, and then yeah, but Meetup.com is actually cool. It's like I've been to one meetup group before. It was like when I was trying to learn Japanese, and you pay $5 for a session. And we got together at McDonald's, and like the teacher would teach us,
Damn, at a McDonald's, you'd be like, oh, cold panda with cheese.
That's Mexican. You need to learn at McDonald's.
You need to learn Mexican.
Yeah.
But no, this actually I found. Well, this is what's weird. I was in another Toastmaster group that I actually did find on Meetup, and that was a very disorganized group. I think I talked about them at some point, and I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
You should start your own.
Well, that's true. Like opinionated asshole Toastmasters.
Fuck Toastmasters, man. I mean, you can start your own. Obviously that's how I got my improv group is through Meetup, and we've got like 700 members now. So
you just created a group, pretty much.
Just created a group, and I started a Meetup and said meet here. Now you could make like a local. I don't know. You could do your own group, but you got to figure out what kind of group you want. Like if you wanted an improv group, you'd have to find a space to do that. But that might be something even to start. Start your own fucking.
That's. Well, and I did find I think I told you guys, Las Vegas Podcasters group.
Yeah.
And which I am gonna check that out. Unfortunately, they're meeting. They meet the second Wednesday of the month, and last month and this month, I was tied up on Wednesdays, so I couldn't do that particular Wednesday. You know what I'm saying?
So when are you doing your speech, and are you going to how much are you going?
Let's tell you what happened. So I did my speech last night.
Oh shit.
And actually it was a mixed bag, man. And it's funny because the girl who actually evaluated me, because you have an evaluator.
Yeah.
Who evaluates your speech. That's not your mentor that evaluates you. It's somebody totally different.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, she was kind of one of the big offenders. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when she got up, she said some good things about my speech. She said it was well organized, the volume and pitch was good, and this and that. Then she got into the negatives of it, and one was good. She said that, with my physical movements, I need to do more of that, and she kind of cracked on me moving my right hand all the time or my right arm all the time, so that was kind of funny. But then she goes, The speech I chose was actually the inspirational speech from the manual, and the reason I is because the inspirational speech is supposed to make you think, act, or feel differently, whether personally, professionally, or spiritually. So you can tell that was straight out of the fucking manual.
Yeah.
Yep.
I put that into my speech. That's how I remembered that. But anyway, that's why I called it inspirational, because it was, in fact, trying to change the way people acted and felt and thought. So that should qualify, in my opinion. So anyway, that's what she said. I didn't feel inspired. I felt that you were beating us up, and I felt that you were, you were angry. Your tone was, and basically she kind of said without saying, you seem like you have this chip on your shoulder, and blah 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 blah. So it's more of that shit again, like, oh well, you seem angry. You seem, and it's like, well,
because I am angry. That's the thing. It's not about a speech. It's about. That's why I can't get into that Toastmaster shit, because it's so sterilized, man. It's all so sterilized.
That's it. That's where I was going. It's the sterility of the whole fucking thing.
You can't actually have emotional
and
spirit. The only emotion they like is like sadness. You can tell personal stories, but when you get people thinking about things they do, oh God, no,
Is the toast at least? Is the toast any good, or is it just?
Well, they call it's Toastmasters. I don't know where they.
Yeah, I know. They're like a toast, like when you do a drink. Yeah, I know.
He was just being stupid, because that pretty much tells you where we are in the night.
Yeah, we're making jokes. Well, I'll finish up real quick with this, but yeah, you're right, dude. It's the sterility, and what's sad is, hey, these people are very worldly, in my opinion. They've done a lot of things. They've been a lot of places. I listen to some of the stories they tell when they get up and speak, but yet they have trouble dealing with someone blind, and yet they're not willing to even change it. So it almost seems like very educated people, or on paper educated, should I say, are almost more ignorant because they think they know it all, because they have that paper they can wave at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
they're assholes.
Well, it's just what it is, man. It's just people they're not going to want you to be
real,
to challenge them too much. Yeah, they want you to talk about a funny story, like when your hat fell in the sewer and you felt whatever the fuck and whatever. Right. And you had a little
blind stories like I drank lemon juice, or I wanted a soda and I drank concentrated lemon juice instead. Salad dressing
or something. Yeah, something fucking ridiculous like that, or like oh that's so great.
That was cute.
Well, anyway, speaking of being sterile, I'm gonna go try to remain in a good mood, and
I gotta piss here pretty soon.
So let's so basically we're gonna end this thing tonight. So let me get this.
James, man, thanks for coming on with us.
Thanks for coming on and sharing your outdoor experiences.
Oh yeah, well I hope it brings a new dimension to the soundtrack of Nothing Sacred.
Oh yeah, especially with zippers and shit opening up like you were doing some Spy Network
I've been hearing crunching chips and grass and cars and all kinds.
I actually, I was snacking on these chips, but I didn't want the noise.
Shit, we heard it.
Basically, oh shit. Well, you didn't say anything. Well, basically, what I did is I stretched out my left arm really far, and then I turned my head right, and I tried to
it didn't work. So, but that's okay. It added to the ambience.
Exactly, it made it funny.
It added to the ambulance. Wow. Anyways, this has been a Nothing Sacred show for the 6th of April 2017. I am Cruise Control.
I'm Maxwell Silverhammer. Who are you, man?
Oh, I'm Luke Skywalker. No, I'm James Tokyo.
And
that's the story there, bitches. Jesus Christ, fucking Christ on a crutch.
Oh, that was great.
Good job.
Peace out.